What Stoics knew that we've completely forgotten in our modern world of constant notifications, endless scrolling, and the pursuit of happiness through material success. We've lost touch with wisdom that sustained people through centuries of hardship. The ancient Stoics understood something fundamental about human nature that we desperately need to remember today: the power of what we control. The Stoics had a simple but revolutionary insight. Most of our suffering comes from trying to control things we cannot control. Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, put it plainly: some things are up to us, and some things are not. What's up to us? Our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, and our values. What's not up to us? Almost everything else: the weather, other people's opinions, the past, and even many outcomes of our efforts. Today, we waste enormous energy worrying about things completely outside our control. We stressed about what strangers think of our social media posts. We replay past conversations, wishing we'd said something different. We anxiously check news feeds about events thousands of miles away that we cannot influence. The Stoics would see this as madness. They knew that peace of mind comes from focusing exclusively on what we can actually control and accepting everything else with grace. Negative visualization, practicing gratitude through loss. One of the most counterintuitive Stoic practices was negative visualization, imagining the loss of things we value. This wasn't pessimism or depression. It was a practical technique for appreciating what we have right now. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, would remind himself each morning that he might lose everything he loved: his possessions, his status, even the people closest to him, all temporary. This sounds grim to modern ears. We're taught to think positive and manifest abundance. But the Stoics understood something we've forgotten. When you regularly contemplate loss, you stop taking things for granted. Your morning coffee becomes a gift. Time with loved ones becomes precious. An ordinary day becomes extraordinary. We've replaced this practice with its opposite, constantly imagining better circumstances. We scroll through highlight reels of other people's lives, always feeling we're missing out. We fantasize about promotions, vacations, and possessions that will finally make us happy. The Stoics knew this path leads only to perpetual dissatisfaction. Obstacles as opportunities. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way, Marcus Aurelius wrote. This Stoic principle has been almost completely forgotten in our obstacle-averse culture. We treat difficulties as interruptions to our plans. Traffic makes us late. Criticism hurts our feelings. Failure derails our dreams. We spend our lives trying to create a smooth, obstacle-free existence. The Stoics saw obstacles differently. Every challenge was an opportunity to practice virtue. Every setback was a chance to develop resilience. Every criticism was feedback for improvement. When a Stoic faced hardship, their first question wasn't "why me?" but "what can I learn from this?" They understood that strength comes from resistance, just as muscles grow from stress. Today, we seek comfort above all else. We avoid difficult conversations, challenging work, and anything that might make us uncomfortable. In doing so, we become fragile. We've forgotten that growth happens at the edge of our comfort zone, not within it. The practice of voluntary discomfort connected to this was the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort, deliberately choosing hardship to prepare for inevitable difficulties. Seneca, the wealthy Roman philosopher, would periodically live as if he'd lost everything, eating simple food and sleeping on the floor. This wasn't self-punishment. It was training. Just as athletes stress their bodies to perform better, Stoics stressed their comfort levels to strengthen their character. We've completely abandoned this wisdom. We maximize comfort in every area of life. We adjust thermostats for perfect temperature. We avoid hunger with constant snacking. We eliminate any moments of boredom with smartphones. The result, we've become soft. Minor inconveniences feel like major crime. A broken air conditioner becomes unbearable. Going without our phone for an hour creates anxiety. The Stoics knew that by occasionally choosing discomfort, we prepare ourselves for when discomfort chooses us. Life will inevitably bring hardship. The question is whether we'll be ready for it. Living according to nature. The Stoics spoke often about living according to nature. This didn't mean moving to the woods or rejecting civilization. It meant accepting that we are part of a larger whole, and that certain facts about existence are unchangeable. Humans are mortal. We age, we get sick. People we love will die. Circumstances will change. These aren't tragedies there, simply nature operating as it always has. We've forgotten this. We treat aging as a disease to be cured. We see death as an unnatural enemy to be conquered. We expect life to be fair and become bitter when it isn't. The Stoics accepted reality as it is, not as they wished it to be. This wasn't resignation, it was wisdom. By accepting unchangeable facts, they freed their energy for what they could actually influence. Death as a teacher. Perhaps nothing reveals our forgetting more than our relationship with death. The Stoics contemplated death constantly, not morbidly, but as a source of perspective and urgency. You could leave life right now. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, let that determine what you do and say and think. Death wasn't something to fear or deny. It was the ultimate deadline, giving life its meaning. When you remember that your time is finite, you stop wasting it on trivial concerns. Today, we've sanitized and hidden death. We avoid thinking about it. We speak of people passing away rather than dying. We act as if we have unlimited time, procrastinating on what matters while obsessing over what doesn't. The Stoics knew that remembering death doesn't make life sadder, it makes it more vivid and precious. Every day becomes a gift to use wisely rather than waste carelessly. Rediscovering ancient wisdom. The Stoic insights aren't lost, they are simply forgotten. The books remain. The practices can be learned. The wisdom is available to anyone willing to look. What the Stoics knew is simple but not easy. We find peace by focusing on what we control. We find gratitude by contemplating loss. We find strength through obstacles. We find resilience by practicing discomfort. We find wisdom by accepting nature. We find meaning by remembering death. In a world of constant distraction and manufactured desire, these ancient truths are more relevant than ever. The question is whether we're ready to remember what we've forgotten.